Hello, early on friends and family, and welcome back to another Cook with Me. Today we're going to be making some Hulk muffins, and they're called Hulk muffins because they're green, and what makes them green is our spinach. So, some things we're going to need are, of course, spinach, as I mentioned. We're going to need some butter. We're going to need some honey. This jar is empty, but I do have it pre-measured out already. We're gonna need some bananas, some cooking oats, some all-purpose flour, some eggs, as well as some baking soda. And some other things you're gonna need are some muffin sheets, as well as you're going to need a toothpick. And I, of course, just have this out already. I have my muffin tray, and of course I have these flying everywhere. And lastly, you're just gonna need a blender to blend everything. So let's get started. I'm going to need 2 cups of spinach. So I just quickly washed mine ahead of time, and I'm just gonna go and pick out just the leaves because you don't need the end parts. And because you don't need a lot of chopping, this is a great way to get your kids using their fine motor skills. And of course, what kid doesn't love blending things with a blender? So this is a great activity for them to foster some independence as well as, like I said, some fine motor skills. Alright. So like I mentioned, I'm just going ahead and picking apart just the leaves because that's where all the nutrients is, and that's what's going to blend easier than the little end parts. Alrighty, there we go. And now just off to the side, I'm going to move this out of your way. Off to the side over here, I just have my blender in the background. Try and make it as visible as possible. So there's 1 cup of spinach. As well as another cup of spinach. Don't worry as well, as soon as we get all of our ingredients in, I will bring you guys in for a closer look so you can see the consistency that we need. My apologies, that was my dog. Okay, so now we're gonna add in a cup of banana, and because it's being blended, I like to just break it up. And I'll need 1 more banana. Because you're breaking it up, it can be hard to tell, so it's always nice to have some extra bananas on hand or some extra spinach. Alrighty, there we go. And our 1 cup of banana. Now, the last one you're gonna want to add is your flour. That one you're gonna wanna pulse in at the end. So I'm gonna add my 1/4 cup of honey here that I have pre-measured out. There we go. So now we're going to add a 3/4 cup of milk, which I have chilling in the fridge so it's nice and cold. That's one of Miss Michaela's favorite things is cold milk. There we go, so 3/4. I also want to apologize for my voice. It is a little raspy today. We got our milk in, we got our honey in. Let's see, the last few things we'll need before our flour is a cup of oats. So I'm going to use this one here just so, because I did use this cup for the milk, because this measuring cup that I have also is a quarter, a half, 3/4, and a full cup. So I'm going to use another one to fill it up, just so I don't get any milk in the rest of it. As well as I'm also going to prepare the teaspoon of baking soda. Now this is a new box, so it might be a little trickier at first. I do always have problems with these. There we go. Okay, there we go. No need to worry about the mess. So I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 cup of cooking oats. There we go. Alrighty, so we have our 2 cups of spinach, our 1 cup of banana, 3/4 cup of milk, our 1/4 cup of honey, our cup of oats, our teaspoon of baking soda. All that's left to add is 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's 1. And 2. There we go. As well as 2 eggs. So I'll bring you on for a closer look just so we can see what it looks like. So this is the consistency that it's at now. And I will put you all here so you can see. And our eggs, because these are going to be the last of our ingredients. So I just like to crack it right on top. If you'd like, you always can go ahead and crack it into a bowl first and then crack it into, or place it into the blender. I just do it that way because I'm more comfortable with that. Alrighty, and last but not least, our flour. So we're going to need 1 cup of flour. So I'm going to take my 1 cup measuring cup and just scoop it on in. And now, just so I can blend it first, I'm going to add a little bit in at a time. I'm going to take our lid here. I always like to give it a quick rinse beforehand so we know that it is clean. Like to go in every now and then with a spatula, like so, and just push everything around so that it mixes a little easier. That way nothing gets stuck at the bottom as well. On there, and I'm going to add a little bit more flour as well. There we go. like to check it too, just to make sure it's the right consistency. All right, one more blend and it should be good. Because you don't want it to be too thick, but you also don't want it to be too runny as well, because they do have to bake. All right, so let's just scrape that off. And like I mentioned, one more blend and we should be good to start putting these in our muffin tray. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna go ahead and twist this just a bit. There we go. So I have the opening here placed towards the top or the nose. And I'm just gonna pour it into the baking tray here. Depending on the consistency, and your blender, you might find it is easier to do it with or without. I know the first batch, it was definitely easier to do it with the lid, but we'll do it without the lid for now. Alrighty, and you don't want to fill them up because they will rise. This is also a great way to get your children having nutritious foods, as well as getting them to maybe try some different things. And these are really good for babies as well, if you can like cut them up. And if you are making these for infants, a great tip is you can omit the honey and add an extra 2 tablespoons of milk. There we go. Almost done. And when you do bake them, you're gonna want to preheat your oven to 375. There we go. And they're gonna bake for 18 to 20 minutes. And once they're done baking, they should look like this. So they'll be golden on the, like a golden brown on the edges, and the tops will be firm. And of course, the age-old way of knowing is if you stick a toothpick in, it should come out clean. Just like that one. Alrighty, so I hope my friends and families enjoy this little treat, and I hope you had fun with this healthy recipe. Bye friends, happy cooking!